Nutrition. That's like a fancy word for food. I love food. I love eating. I'm sure you do. That's why you're at this program, to learn how to eat better, but still eat healthy. One of the big things we've learned with kids, and let's face it, with ourselves, it's got to taste good or it's a non-starter. Okay? There are some things that are really healthy for you that taste terrible. It's not worth it. It's not going to happen for you. All right? So let's not go there. But we also have to think realistically. Food is fuel. And what are we putting into our tanks? Like, you have a nice car, are you gonna put garbage gasoline in your car? If you have a bad car, probably. But if you have a nice car, you're gonna put higher octane, better quality fuel because you want the car to run better and last longer. And that's the same idea of nutrition and food. We don't put good stuff in ourselves so we run better and that we live longer. Food is probably the most important health lifestyle choice we can make. It's foundational. A lot of people say, like, I can eat whatever I want. I'm just going to exercise it off. You can't do that. Suppose you eat a medium-sized packet of McDonald's fries. That's going to be about an hour, 20 minutes in the pool to burn that off to get back to zero. A can of Coke is about 150 calories. For most people, that's going to be 30 minutes on the treadmill to get back to zero. We're all too busy to try to be burning off these excess calories to just get back to zero. It's not going to work for us. Also, lots of food, especially these high glycemic index, really sugary foods, spike our sugar, then insulin comes, drops our sugar, and then we crash and burn. Who wants to ride that sugar roller coaster and be hyper incapacitated? All right, that's not a good way to go through your day. Now, one of the interesting things is, do you guys know what SAD means? SAD? It's actually a real medical acronym. It means Standard American Diet. And that's a really sad statement. Now, over 60% of the SAD, Standard American Diet, is what we call hyper-processed food. It used to be a plant, went through a couple machines, now it's packaged in a can or a box or a bag for your enjoyment. That's probably the worst food to eat. Let me give you an example. Corn on the cob tastes great. Next best thing, corn in a can. Next best thing, after a couple machines get to it, corn syrup, which they inject into everything as a sweetener. You want for something natural, mildly processed by machine, off the cob, to something that's actually really bad for you. And that happens to a lot of the foods. So what we talk about nowadays is a concept called whole foods plant-based. And what that means is, as natural as we can get it, and it's a whole food, non-processed type of fuel for our bodies. And that's the best way to go. Now, does it work? It does. There's actually been really good studies that when you go fully vegan, in 2 weeks, you can cut your cholesterol level in half, and that was just as effective as taking Mevacor, which is a generic statin medication. I know a lot of people don't want to take statins, don't want to get on them. You don't have to. You can just go totally plant-based and really, really push down your cholesterol. Same thing with salt. Most processed foods, salt's a preservative. It's also a flavor enhancer to make you want to go back and buy that again. If you cut back on the processed food, decrease salt, decrease your blood pressure. Also, sugar. One of the big things is people's concerns of carbs. There's good carbs and there's bad carbs. The bad carbs are the more refined sugars that you find in snacks, desserts, danishes and pastries, and most in things like soda and juice. If you're going to eliminate those carbs, those bad sugars, our weight will come down, our sugars will come down, and that can have a big impact on diabetes, cholesterol, and your weight. So once again, think about what are you going to put in your body, what are you going to use as fuel, and pick the best, highest quality stuff to put in your body because you only have one body. All right, don't beat it up from the inside out.